All right, here we go. The Hunting Land Man Podcast, episode 50. We tried episode 50 with a different guest, but we had a little technical difficulties, and we'll have to redo that. All right, let me tell you what we got going on. We got Josh Beckham here. Josh works with us with Southern States Realty. He's, what you been, about a year and a half?
2 years. 2
years now. I got you. Time flies. The older I get, the faster it goes. But we're going to bring Josh in. We're talking all about duck hunting and duck land today and the 23-24 duck season. And believe it or not, here in Southwest Mississippi and Louisiana, we actually have something to smile about at the end of the season. It kind of ended on a bang. So before we get too far, Southern Ag Credit is always our title sponsor of the Hunting Land Man Podcast and the TV show. They take great care of us. I literally got off the phone with Alex whenever I drove up here to meet Josh, and we were talking about several deals we're doing right now. They take great. I recommend them because I use them so much. I think they do a great job. And look, there's some other companies that do a great job. I use them. That's why I recommend them. Alex, Austin, the whole crew over there, they do a great job. All right, Duckland. Here we go. Josh, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Josh works for Southern States Realty, and he also I guess your main job, you work for, is it now Bandit, or is that, where do we?
It's a little bit of everything. We recently got into the big game world with a brand called Taka, but I am a territory manager in Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Texas. Big territory. And
for Bandit.
For Bandit, mm-hmm. Avery, GHG, Avery Sporting Dog, and Taka.
Let me ask that question because it'll be on my brain. So Bandit bought Avery, or is it the same?
So Bandit bought Avery in 2015.
Okay, and Avery's young man over here, I was like, oh yeah, Avery's like the old school duck, like it's been there forever.
Avery is the icon of waterfowl hunting and the products that are out there. Everything in this industry has originated off of Avery, including Bandit.
Cool. Well, and the new big game line is Taka. All right. And what is Taka? What is the name? Where does it come from?
So it's native for deer. There's several native terms.
Like Native American for deer?
And it's for deer. So our broadhead, everybody calls it a triangle or delta. Mm-hmm. It's a broadhead.
So if I'm hunting Tatonka, I'm out west, I'm hunting Taka.
Yeah, that's
Taka.
That's correct.
I got you. I like that. Well, Josh, I guess we'll start. What made you want to get into real estate? And I know through Hunter and I met you before you got into real estate. Tell me what made you want to get into real estate? What appealed to you about it?
Well, basically my love for the outdoors. I love everything about it. I like learning the land. Whether it's waterfowl, and just property management, leasing properties, just learning how a property operates and how you can turn that property into something better down the road. Where I really struck my interest in real estate is I'm going in and out of all these retail stores, and people are saying, hey, you got any property? You know any property for sale? You know any duck property? You know any deer property? And it's every day, and I look back on it, I guess I've been in Bandit since 2017, so going on 7 years full. I look back and look at all the money I gave away.
You did.
Gave a lot of money away, and then finally, during COVID, actually Hunter called me and was talking about getting into real estate. Why don't you get your real estate license? Well, I'm going to. Then I got tied up. I got to turkey hunt every day because couldn't go to work. I had to work from home, so I was working from my truck, and I was working from the woods. So long story short, time got away. I didn't get my real estate license. Hunter calls me back in 2022 and says, I think you really need to get your real estate license. I said, well, I'm actually sitting here doing the online course right now.
There you go.
And the rest is kind of history. And it's a slow process, learning process for me. It's a whole different side of the sales industry. But at the end of the day, you're selling a product.
And one thing I like about, and y'all sell good quality products with Bandit, and one thing I like about the product land is it sells itself. You're really just providing information and showing value. Either it fits, same way with the clothing y'all sell. It either fits your needs or it doesn't.
That's correct.
If you're looking for the cheapest, this is not you. And so it's easy to sell something that kind of sells itself. The thing we want to talk about today is first of all we're going to talk about our duck seasons, how they went. I actually got to hunt a couple times this year, and of course I'm in the ear of duck hunters daily, weekly, that I've sold property to and things like that. I'll start with me. So I got to go on a couple hunts. Let me see, I guess mid-January we went, and it was the most ducks in southwest Mississippi as I've ever seen down towards the river, and I won't disclose location out of respect to those landowners. But anyway, it was the most ducks I had seen, and everybody who hunts in Wilkeson County knows it's the same ducks line over them too. And it was we were a little late getting to the blind, and I could have limited out before we got to the blind. And this is all going to be on an episode we're working on here in a couple of weeks, and this we'll go into all this. But had a great hunt, killed a bunch of ducks. Didn't kill a lot of green, but we saw a good many. But honestly, if we would have sat there and been patient, we would have. But ducks have ducked them. The old deer hunter over here.
Like I tell everybody, you can enjoy that thing till 11 o'clock in the morning, or you can enjoy it till 7. You can come back the next day and do it again.
That's it, and it makes it fun. And then we went last weekend and brought my little boy for youth weekend, and we did something really cool. We camped out with the kids, and they rode four-wheelers and mud ride all night, and the rain came in the middle of the night, and some people got wet in their tents, and our stuff got wet, and the whole experience was just great for those kids. Now, the next morning, it had warmed up, and the ducks were gone. I could see the area we were hunting 2 weeks before where all those ducks were, and they were just absolutely gone. So we shot at some sticks in the air and had a good time, but we didn't kill any ducks. Tell us about your duck season, Josh. You get to duck hunt a whole lot.
That's right. I do. I'm blessed and fortunate to be in this industry and be around duck hunting pretty much every day from the day it opens. It started off really, really good. In
Northeast, tell everybody where we're starting.
So I typically spend most of my time now in Northeast Louisiana, South Arkansas. I used to travel all up and down the flyway. 2 little girls at home now, with a new one that was born this past duck season, 3 days before Christmas.
Well, we got to have one more so we can have a little boy to duck hunt with.
Well, we can be you.
Ah.
It won't be me. But anyway, so I did used to travel a bunch and spend a lot of time on the road. So I try to stay close to home now. But with that being said, duck season started off really, really good. Northeast Louisiana, South Arkansas. And it didn't take long for it to dry up. Everybody knows we were in a severe drought. If you had water, you pumped it. And that's very expensive. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't manage it, you didn't have any ducks. So
you were hunting the same ducks. So if you didn't baby your hole, you didn't have ducks.
That's right. Yeah. You could get maybe 2 hunts a week out of one spot, and then you had to move. I hunt on a place called Days Bayou. It's a 4,000-acre farm, a lot of water out there. So it held majority of the ducks in Northeast Louisiana for a while. But it didn't take them long to figure out where the blinds were and where they weren't going to get shot, and we wouldn't hunt the spots, that they crowd up in, because every day you could find 20 to 30 dumb ones. Mm-hmm. And if you could do that, you were okay.
You win, yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I had several days that I shot single digits, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. It's part of the process. But as you said, they started talking this Arctic blast coming. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of one of those deals. If they don't come now, they're never going to come. Ever,
and they did.
Ever. And on Saturday, I think it was January 13th, I was at my place in Arkansas, and we saw thousands, 50 to 60,000 within 2 hours heading south. We had a really good hunt. We knew that night it was going to freeze up. We came back to Louisiana. We had open water, and they were there. They showed up overnight because they weren't there that morning.
That's awesome.
Talking to other people. But so the last 2 weeks, I think, gave some people some hope. And, in the grand scheme of things, if you don't have weather, you're not going to have ducks.
What it did for my clients and stuff, we've just been, it's just, for lack of a better word, it sucked the last couple of years. And people that are depressed, hey, I don't even know, what am I even worried about buying duck hunting property? We don't have ducks anymore. And it just goes to show that if we get some weather, we can still get plenty of ducks.
That's right.
And, if you remember, I think it was 4 years ago, 4 or 5, when we had that February freeze.
COVID year.
I've never seen so many ducks. And look, I'm not talking about on the Mississippi River. I'm talking about on the pond at my house, greenheads, pintails. I had a place for sale down in down in East Feliciana, and it's a 11-acre lake on there. When I pulled out there, I looked like I was in Argentina. It was unbelievable. Snipe running there. It was just, and so I think if we have events like that, we can still smack them.
Yeah, and I think the last 2 weeks it was because you hear them. You know, when the times get tough, everybody starts mumbling and grumbling. It's the game and fish. It's the people are short stopping them, which that's a whole nother topic, and I think we'll probably get to that on food sources and what people are doing as a private landowner to basically master their property, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it gave people hope that they do still exist and they will still come here.
So that's what we're going. Josh just kind of spoke of. We're going to talk about something that I'm hearing. And look, I am not a duck hunter. I just know enough about it to sound like a dummy. But anyway, I've talked to a lot of people that are in the duck world, and it makes sense to me because it's, for the lack of, it's kind of like a deer. Okay, so what microhabitats, and what I'm saying by that is, you got a big enough tract of ground that you can plant your own food, control your own water, control the pressure probably as much as anything. And even when the last couple of years when we haven't had ducks, my clients that are doing that sort of thing, and it ain't cheap, and I'm not trying to, I know a bunch of people hunt public ground. That's not what I'm talking about. But like, for instance, I sold a really, really large tract of land in Wilson County last year, and we're a year when we had water, we would do this, so we didn't get to do it this year, but we were going to take a big area, and we're going to plant crops, if it's corn or if it's dwarf millet or whatever, gold millet, whatever we're planting, and they not plan on never hunting that area. They got holes on every side of it that they plan on hunting, and basically, let's just throw a round number out there. If you can hold 1,000 ducks on your place, if you don't shoot them and they come there to feed every day, they may be a little hard to kill, but we're hunting those ducks every day, and as you get new ducks, they attract more ducks and that sort of thing, and that seems to be working. The people that are consistently killing ducks with even decent weather, that's what they're doing around here. Are you seeing the same thing?
That's 100% correct. I mean, if you have a piece of property and you can manage a rest area with food, whether it's hot crop, corn, or barnyard grass, millet, you do a moist soil unit. If you can hold those ducks in that area, you will kill them 6 out of 10 times.
Right.
It's better than 50%. If you don't have that and you're relying strictly on what you're hunting,
on new ducks and water, huh?
Yeah, you're waiting on a duck to either migrate or fly by. And
right.
Like I said, if you can see them and you can hold them, you can kill them.
So I think, I think people get spoiled forever. You look at the 90s and stuff like that, and, you just go find a hole of water down by the river, and here they come. And that ain't the case, doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
No. And they've adapted to, whether it's pressure, whether it's gadgets in the industry that we're putting out or whatever company's putting them out. And you see everything's adapted. I mean, go turkey hunting. They don't gobble as much. They've adapted to the pressure, and so with change, you have to change.
Right.
And with that change, being a landowner, you got to make your own food source sometimes.
And look, this stuff is expensive. No matter if you're doing it in Northeast Louisiana, it's expensive, and I hate to say it. Oh man, deer hunting, duck hunting is becoming a rich man game. Look, I didn't invent the rules. It's kind of like the golden rule. The man with the gold makes the rules, and the man with the gold can also get the deer and ducks. And that's not, I didn't make those rules. That's just how it is. But speaking of that, so I'll give an example. And look, Josh is from an area that has a whole lot more ducks than we have, but just right around here, I call it the best duck hole in Wilson County. And I'm not going to name any spots or whatever, but what they do, they plant every year. They control they control the water by rain. So all they got to do is have a little rain and block it up. It floods pretty easy. And they hunt it when the ducks are really here twice a week. When the ducks aren't here, week, 10 days, 2 weeks. And basically, they have a spot. They go up. Hey, look, there's 300 mallards on the hole. Let's hunt tomorrow. And then they'll shoot, and they'll let it build back up. And do they get to go to duck hunting 60 days? Absolutely not. But do they get 6, 8, 10, 12 really good shoots a year? I'm talking about, just solid green, ducks everywhere. That's they get that, and I think the reason they do it is because they got food and they do it right. It's no different than a big food plot or something like that.
That's right.
When the conditions get right, you get in there and you kill them.
Yeah, and it takes, growing a crop when you're not a farmer is a lot harder than growing a crop when you're a farmer.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it on the side, and I've had this conversation with a lot of guys that manage big blocks of woods in Arkansas up and down the White and Cache River, and you don't ever know what you're going to be dealt, whether it's a drought, whether it's 10-inch rain in July. Army worms, and if you're going to do it right all the way around, because 9 times out of 10, especially when you're in Arkansas or northeast Louisiana, if you're growing a crop on your property for your benefit, there's a crop scouter nearby that you can pay just to scout your crops. Let him tell you when to fertilize. Let him tell you when to spray for armyworms, because he's a professional in it. So
you're saying find somebody in that industry, if it's a farmer, if it's a farmhand, if it's
right.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's just, if you're gonna do it right. If you're not, don't do it at all.
Right. So I have questions, so I'll ask the expert over here. So doing it right would be, flooded 200 bushel corn, just a good crop, a dwarf millet crop, something like that did really good. And I guess like the cheap way to do it, hey, look, I did a little brown top and a little millet, and I hope it came up on the edge. Is that
exactly? Exactly. And for us down here, you hear a lot of people, they're planting the golden millet. Golden millet is fabulous for where we're at. We don't get the amount of mallards in our part of the world anymore that they still get in northeast Arkansas, Missouri. So that's why the further you go north, the more corn you see. Further you come south, you're getting into moist soil units, you're getting your millets, Chihuahua, whatever it may be.
Do you think they like the millet down here better, or do you think we just don't have enough ducks to eat enough corn to matter? What's?
No, I think it's more geared towards the type of ducks that we get.
Okay.
You're going to find a lot of teal and milo,
gray ducks, stuff like that.
Gray ducks, pintails, widgeon, spoonbill. I shoot a spoonbill. Don't look.
Smiling mallard, man.
Hey, I'm no purist, and I'll tell you, I like to pull the trigger, and I like to go duck hunting. I don't go mallard hunting. I go duck hunting.
I like that. That. So that's the kind of way I deer hunt. People always pick on me. They say, Slade, he gonna shoot the first mature when he walks by. But yeah, I'm gonna be smiling when I get back to the camp. And I tell people this all the time. If me and you go hunting, and the first day I'm sitting in Missouri and a 135-inch 8-point runs by me and I smack him and you shoot a 200, you're not gonna be any more happy than me that day.
That's right.
I'm gonna be tickled for you. I'm gonna be tickled for me, and we kind of like duck hunting. Let's do it again tomorrow.
That's right. I like to get in and get out and try to do it again tomorrow if I can. I'm not into sitting there till 10 or 11 usually, because I got to go to work.
That's it.
But no, if you're going to do it right. And, not everybody has the means to do it, but if you do,
Yeah, and it's I don't know, and it's probably like anything else. If you go and do that work and it all works out, it makes it more fun.
It does.
As opposed to I just went and got in the hole and I shot some ducks and there wasn't any thought to. And I think the older you get, the more you appreciate that side of it.
That's correct.
When you're younger, like I just want to shoot, I just want to kill every one of them. Look, I do too, but like, for instance, Lori killed her big deer, which we're going to do a podcast on Lori's deer here soon. Lori killed her big deer, 6-year-old deer. I've had him since we had the place. Built the food plots, put up the Titan blinds, and fed these deer and all my food. That deer was meant just as much to me as any deer I ever killed because it's right here at the house. My wife went out and killed it. And I think the ducks would be the same way. If let's say you buy the right 100 acres, and you make some little micro habitats and you kill some ducks. That's got to be more fun than just going to smack them.
Yeah. So me and a buddy of mine, Devin Singleton.
I know Devin.
Yeah. So you hunted with him.
Yeah. Right.
Rouge. So we got a place in South Arkansas that I've hunted for a long time, since 2005 or 6, and I'm no rich guy. I don't own a tractor, but we've gone up there and it's farmed by farmers. But once they're done, we do all of it. We have a deal with the landowner. Hey, we'll take care of everything from start to finish, and it's just something about it because it's not very good.
Did it get y'all to leave? Did they leave some crop for y'all?
No. As soon as they're done, depending, and they'll usually leave one field out. So whatever field they leave out, we'll go in, plant millet, plant whatever we want, or we'll.
Oh, so they leave a field barren for the year.
Yeah, or they'll tell us ahead of time. Sometimes we keep water on it, and we'll draw it down or whatever, and a lot of barnyard grass comes up, but you got to manage that too. It's all on time of year and water that's on it. And
is that kind of like, you can manage signal grass, or they call Texas millet, in the hill ground? I guess it's the same thing. Like if you disc or if you water the right time, that comes up.
Yeah,
is that the same thing?
That's right. Yeah, same thing. And so we spend a lot of time in there in the off season, and just piddling around, and it's always something about when we go there and hunt. We have a good hunt. It means more to me now than it did 15 years ago, and it means more to me now than anywhere else I go hunt.
Right.
That South Arkansas has been, I ain't gonna say South Arkansas, all of Arkansas. This year was about a 30-day lull that, not many people killing ducks. People that usually kill a lot of ducks, we're not killing ducks. So we weren't even hunting our place. And, I think Hunter and them may have went, they killed 10, somebody killed 7, just, and getting hunted 3 times in 30 days, and that's not good. And so we were watching the weather on that 13th or the 12th, and we saw it was going to come through Saturday afternoon, and said, we're going. And we went up there. It was me, Devin, and I took all 3 of Hunter's boys. I think you saw
I
the
saw
picture
pictures,
I sent. And we shot 16 mallards and, all our off ducks and a few specks in 2 hours. And that I told him, I said, it's still got it. They still come here.
Yep.
It's just something about
just
it.
got to have the weather.
You always got to have that thought in the back of your head of, what did we do wrong this year? But we didn't do anything wrong. We just didn't have the weather.
Oh yeah, it's hard to kill what ain't flying by.
That's right. You can't kill them if you don't see them.
That's it. Well, cool. Well, we're gonna get into Josh is also a big deer hunter, pushing the Taka, and now you killed your big deer this year, Kansas. Tell us a little bit about your hunt. He's a hammer. What did you end up scoring?
162 and an 8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so
that's a Kansas 161 right there. So there's a comparison.
So I'll tell you a little about my deer hunting career. So I grew up deer hunting. That's all we did growing up. My dad never duck hunted, and still don't. I can't drag him out of the house to go duck hunting. He won't do it.
But he'll still deer hunt?
He still deer hunts. So I grew up deer hunting around the house, and I've had people, hey, come up here with us, come here, come there, and I ain't getting into deer hunting. Well, when I went to work for Bandit, that's kind of the time that we get on the road and start seeing stores to sell product for the following fall. Well, me being who I am, if I can't do something all the way, I'm not going to do it at all. Well, that's about the time you get ready for bow season in Louisiana, so I just said, I ain't bow hunting no more. I'm done. I'm done deer hunting. So 6 years I didn't bow hunt at all. And then a buddy of mine had a place in Kansas, and I always went up there turkey hunting with him. And
what part of Kansas?
Central.
It's what unit?
North Central.
North Central. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm South Central.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't even tell you. I'd have to go look at the tag. So during turkey season, he said, "Y'all, you want to come deer hunting?" I was like, "Yeah." You know what? I think I will. We're selling big game clothes,
Yeah.
I might as well go back deer hunting.
I need my picture on the bag.
Right. I need. And so, lo and behold, I put in for the draw, and I get drawn, and we go up there, and we went up, I guess, 3, 4, 5 times, filling up feeders and doing various things. And so after Halloween, I struck out. And the first day, it was me and his dad up there. We were the only 2 up there, and he hadn't come yet. He was going to come on, 3 days after I got there. Well, the first day I had a really good 8-point that everybody says I should have shot. But I told him, I was like, I don't want to shoot that deer if you're not here. I want to enjoy it with all y'all. And
right.
And so
this is how you're supposed to act when you go somebody's place.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Everybody said, you're going to kill one, they're going to kick you off of it, and you ain't coming back. And I said, well, I ain't going to do that. So I hunted a couple days. He got there, and then I went in a dry spell. I wasn't seeing no deer.
This first week in November?
Yeah. Went in a dry spell, wasn't seeing any deer, and I said, I said, maybe I should have shot. And then his dad shoots, his wife shoots. He shoots, misses. And so I guess I went up on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and the following Tuesday, we had a deer coming to the camera every night, and he was coming right after I left every day. I even got in my truck one night, was driving off. He crossed the road in front of me going down the shelter belt that I was hunting on. And so he said, just stay there, don't move. So I did. I killed him on Tuesday morning. And I don't want to tell this part, but I will, just because it don't.
Go ahead.
I've never got shook up by a deer since the first one I killed when I was in 1995.
So just ice cold even after the shot?
Yeah. So I never got shook up in any deer I've ever killed, and so this deer comes up, and of course I go into full blown buck fever. Exactly. I'm shooting an old Bowtech that I've had for 10 years, and I've shot it probably 10 times, and so he comes up. And he's 3/4 to me. And I'm like, all right, he's going to turn. Well, I thought he was fixing to turn, so I went to draw back. And I got about 3/4 draw. And I got hung up. And I could not draw back.
Oh, wow.
And I held it. And I was like, well, it's going to break over. It's going to break over. It's going to break over. And it didn't. And I said, no way, this is about to happen.
This is why people love deer hunting, because like
this is fixing to happen. And so I let off, and I was trying to hold it, just sit there like this. Well, my elbow. I was like, you know the feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, this ain't going to work. And he turned and looked back down the fence row for some reason, and I just, all in one motion. And I was waiting on him to turn, and I thought I was shooting him in the shoulder. I was so blown out of proportion at this point. I shot him in the neck.
Hey.
In some way, I cut a main artery. He ran 50 yards. I watched him fall over the whole 9 yards.
Nice. That's your best deer?
Yeah, that's the biggest one I ever killed.
Nice.
By about 40 inches.
Nice. He was a hammer. I remember seeing the pictures.
So
that's cool, man. Look, there's nothing like Kansas.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think 16, 17, that was my first one ever in Kansas, and that was one of them in Kansas. But there's nothing like it. You got a big turkey season planned?
I do not. I'm going on the road for a bunch of shows with Bandit coming up starting next week, and with a newborn baby at home, I'm gonna hang around the house. I'm gonna go to Kansas. I thought about doing Iowa, but I know if I start doing that track, I'm gonna end up in South Dakota, and then I'm gonna end up somewhere else. And so I'm gonna take the wife and the kids on a spring break vacation.
You know, your spring break is really fun, like in Missouri. You know, that's a really good,
good turkey area. Mark Twain.
Yeah, we're gonna hit. I think we're gonna be able to do this. I think we're gonna hit Illinois. Me, Blake, and Ryan, all the Train Assassin crew, minus Craig. Me, Blake, and Ryan are going to hit Blake's Illinois stuff, mine and Ryan's Missouri stuff, and then we're going to hit Iowa too. So that'd be a good little trip. I was going to go shoot a Merriam this year, and whenever me and Blake started talking about that idea, I said, I'd much rather go do that with my buddies than go just take one trip and go shoot a Merriam. I'll shoot one another. I've never shot one. I'll shoot one another day, but I'm excited about. We're recording this on February the 6th. And turkey season, I guess youth season will be here in about a month. So we're excited about that. Hopefully we can get some of the kids on a bird. Bucky said he's gonna get me on some Louisiana birds this year, so we're gonna hold him to. Look, you don't tell me that I can hunt your place or I'm gonna take you. I'm not gonna let you forget. I have clients all the time that say, "Hey man, I don't turkey hunt. You want to turkey hunt my place?
Absolutely.
You go ahead." And I said, all right, are you sure?
You don't ever want turkey hunt.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on this list in this phone, and then we're gonna get to killing. But what about real estate wise? You got some stuff going on?
I do. So I have I got one big closing next Friday on Lake Hamilton Lake House.
That's Jeff's place.
No, we closed on that back in November.
Okay,
our 1st of December. No, this is a buddy of mine's place on Lake Hamilton, Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Your license. Louisiana, Arkansas,
and Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh got more license than I got.
So I got that coming up, and then working on another deal with a buddy of mine, about 1,200 acres amongst different tracks. So just waiting on.
What state is that?
It's in Louisiana.
Nice.
So a bunch of pine timber. See where that goes.
Oh, okay. So this is hill ground.
Yeah, it's all hill ground close to the house. It's not 100%.
That's Morehouse or where at?
It's in about 4 parishes.
Nice.
Yeah, Union, Jackson, Claiborne.
Cool. Well, you know, I hear more about that area from Caleb because he's from over there. In fact, yesterday he said he knew Devin. I got to mention it to him. I was thinking of that. Were you weren't in the blind with us the day we smacked them there? You were at the other blind.
No, I wasn't there. Period. I went to breakfast with Santa Claus at the country club. That was when you hunted on the reservoir.
Right, we smacked them.
Yeah, I went home. I played dad that morning.
I never forget. I was sitting on this end as me and Bear Cub. And Bear Cub, with duck hunting, he lives in Missouri, so he's like a purist. Like, we'll set the decoys up and the mallards are going to come in. And so he's like, this is a goat rope. It's like a duck, because it was like a dove hunt. They were just coming from every direction. And there was this island right here. And I was sitting on this end in the grass. And Bear Cub, they going to see us. I said, just sit down, shut up. And those ducks are using that island to bank. And they were, literally 15 yards in front of my gun barrel. Devin Pine goes, who's the sniper on the end? Quit shooting them.
Yeah, I remember hearing all about it, and I got the pictures before it was ever over.
That was a fun hunt. How'd they do out there this year?
It was pretty good. Same as, pretty much everywhere. It was dry. It had that lull in the middle of the season. But
I bet when they had all that open waters with a bunch of ducks there in January.
Yeah, and there are woods out there. I don't know if you've ever been in the woods up there.
Let's call it. We rode by.
It's X Woods.
Yeah, that's what he said.
They did really good in there. They had several good hunts in there, even when it was iced up.
Nice.
They went in there and busted a hole out with a tractor and got it opened up. Had a really good hunt. That's actually where the first day all the guys showed up, because that was a United Country deal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
California, big name.
Curtis.
Mm-hmm. So I took Curtis hunting that morning. We hunted a panel blind on the levee. I'll never forget it. It was 4 or 5 of them. Curtis
got overserved the day before and had too good of a time, and he didn't go duck hunting the next morning. Okay. So the morning we smacked him, but we had a good time. Yeah. I don't get to go very often, but I really do enjoy it. And really, it's just, it's kind of like you pick your poison. Just like you had Santa Claus that morning. Like, I deer hunt a lot. I turkey hunt a lot. So it's like, I'm going to pick my poison. And the thing about me with my deer hunting, I'm so blessed, is where we're sitting right now, all of my Mississippi home hunting spots are within 3 to 4 miles of right here. So I got big track over here, big lease over here, I own a track over here, and then right here at the house. So I can go hunting and really not affect family time. I'm back at the house 30 minutes after dark, and, if I shoot something, they can come track, and heck, Lori and Asa and Bentley and all's hunting now, and Rafe will be hunting soon. So we get to include the family. So I guess I picked my poison. Now, I think Bentley really enjoyed, even though we didn't kill any ducks, he enjoyed going the other day. So I'll probably start trying to do a little bit more of that with him. And Asa literally, when we left to go on the hunt the other day, she literally was crying, I can't go. And I said, baby, when you get bigger, you can go,
That's right. I got one that she wants to go to the camp. She don't care nothing about hunting.
How old is she?
She's 6.
Okay, so same age as Asa.
And so I take her. We started me and a buddy started a kind of a New Year's Eve tradition. We take all the girls, because we all got girls. One of them's got one boy. So we take all the girls to the camp. They all hang out. We do what they want to do. And if they want to go hunting, we go. If they don't, we don't. Good for y'all.
What it goes to show you, just like we camped out the other night, we're all trying to sell land where you kill a bunch of ducks or a bunch of turkeys or a big deer. I get it. That's what that's kind of like the dream. But in reality, I was talking to clients today, like so many clients, man, like I love going hunting to the camp. Man, I love doing the work, cooking the gumbo, watching the game. And it's something about being at that camp where the food tastes better, the company's more fun, and we like to think it's all about killing 5-year-old 150s, but a lot of times, like here on my home place, me and my brother and my dad absolutely waxed the doves in that front field up there one afternoon. A rainstorm came in. And that was as fun a dove hunt as I ever had, right there with my family, right here in front of the house. Asa was my bird dog, and we just had a blast. And so I think, just like camping out the other night with Bentley and them, like, you can do stuff like that on your land. How much did those kids learn that night about four-wheeler riding, setting up a tent? All right, we had to build a fire. I feel like we're losing that, with kids and stuff these days with these, with the iPads and.
Well, if you go look, the licensed sales will back that, what you just said. They'll back it up.
Well, that's only positive that came out of COVID. We did see an increase in hunting and fishing license sales. So that was a positive that came out of COVID, and the real estate market did real good, which is a positive for me.
That's right. I was a little late to the party.
It was really good. But I'm going to tell you, speaking of the real estate market and what's going on right now, I'm going to give you all an update about, we did a market prediction on this podcast about 2024, and knock on wood, me and Caleb are right now. I was talking to another agent, a good agent, about it today. Inventory's down. Demand is through the roof. Every time we put up a new listing, it sells fast. I sold a giant one today off market. Prices are about to go up. I'm predicting that because we've got interest rates supposed to be going down, and when they go down, the demand's already there. So how much more demand is going to be? And I really feel like if you're sitting on the fence right now, you better go ahead and buy now, because pretty soon you're going to be competing with a bunch of other offers and more people out there. And the way it works with Southern Ag Credit is they're going to write your note down. So if you sign up at an 8% interest rate right now and it's 5% by next year, which I'm not the one saying that. I read it on Yahoo News or whatever. Right. If it's going to be 5% next year, well, you're going to be at 5%. So you date that interest rate, and you don't have to pay as much for your property. Mm-hmm. So you're going to probably come out better in head. Plus, you get another season in.
Right.
So, all right, Josh, we're going to get to the end of this thing. I got the $100 million question. All right, here's the deal. Me and you, we go through Norwood right here, and you stop. Don't give me a lot of Powerball ticket. You get 100. I'm talking about tax, after tax, everything. You got $100 million in your pocket. Not 2, not 5, not 20. $100 million. Where we buy land and why?
$100 million question.
Mm-hmm. Because it's fun to think about.
It'll make you think, because there's a lot of things I could do with $100 million. We driving or flying? We flying.
We flying. Yeah, your choice.
We flying. I think I'll buy in Idaho on the Snake River.
I see. I've never even been to Idaho. They got them?
I hadn't either.
You've seen the videos.
But I've seen a lot of videos.
Is that the videos of the small rivers were just...
That's exactly right.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
I've never done it. I will do it in 2024.
How sweet would it be if you had a place that on the same ranch or within short driving distance, you could smack Merriam's, elk, and ducks and mule deer?
Well, you can get close in Idaho.
That would be money. I never had somebody say Idaho. All right, we're buying Snake River, Idaho. Okay, we spent $10 million. Let's just throw that out there. All right, what about the next 10? Where are we going?
Cache River Bottoms.
Where is that? Arkansas?
Yeah.
Okay, that's high price stuff there, huh?
That's high price, and that was another thing that crossed my mind earlier. We were talking about money you spend. I get people all the time that still text me looking for a Green Tree Reservoir. Mm-hmm. What do you want to spend? They're nowhere close.
Oh yeah, it's
$12,000 an acre average.
I'm gonna think. Correct me if I'm wrong. As far as duck hunting, quality duck hunting land, pound for pound, there may not be anything more expensive.
No,
recreational wise,
No, not even close. And I'll get people that send me links to X property, or anything about this block of woods, and I would love to go sell them the property because I'm going to make the money on it, but they're not going to enjoy it.
Not going to kill any ducks on it.
And it's a good price. It's that price for a reason. Mm-hmm. If you want something good right now in the state of Arkansas, where the main green tree timber that is available, because the good stuff don't ever hit the market, it's $12,000 an acre.
That's
and up.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Hey, look, I can sell you something a lot cheaper down here.
And that's not to say that there's nothing that isn't cheaper. That is good, mm-hmm. but the proving ground is. All right,
I'm going to throw a scenario at you. I'm your client, and I say, all right, Josh, I got $5 million to spend. All right, we can go spend $12,000 an acre right here. Can we go somewhere? Can you help me find somewhere we can spend $4,000 to $6,000 an acre? We get double the acreage, but we're going to work. We're going to use that extra money and work on this and make it better. That's a loaded question, so you can give me a loaded answer.
And you can. And I got a buddy of mine that he's looking somewhere on the east side of Arkansas, along the White River and down. And that's one of the things I told him 2 nights ago. I said, we can go somewhere else that's undeveloped, that can be just as good. It's proven, because when the rivers get up, the ducks get in it. Mm-hmm. We can go in there and mess with that stuff and look at different things you can do on a bigger acreage portion that, while it's not a levied up man-made GTR, it is a GTR when the river gets up. That's where GTRs came from.
I'm assuming something that happens natural is probably sometimes better too. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. And all the time the water's never stagnant, and ducks like fresh water. So as long as it's never stagnant, that's why whenever the rivers come up, a lot of these big clubs that have levees around them, they go down. All the ducks go to the big river.
Fresh water.
And so that's kind of what I was telling him. I'm like, look, we can spend half the money, and then you put the rest of that back into development and into your investment, and you make it what you want to make it.
Well, what he just said kind of made me think. I just kind of wanted to, he said clubs. So right now, if you want ducks where I sell in Southwest Mississippi, Southside's probably your best bang for your buck. It's a share club. It's not for everybody, but they smack when we have ducks, they have a lot of ducks. They kill ducks when we don't. Then there's a good tract for sale by a buddy of mine down at Lake Mary that's got a proven duck hole on it ever since early 2000s. If we have ducks, they kill ducks in that hole, and a bunch of other holes on it too. There's but so much of Mississippi, like where we sell in here, if you're gonna have ducks, you're gonna be in 100% floodplain. It's not like, oh, we flooded everywhere. If you're around here and this part of the Delta, west of 61 in the flood ground, it's not if you're going to flood, it's when. And so, I want duck land, but I don't want it to all flood. Well, you're not going to get it here.
You ain't gonna get it.
I can bring you some wood ducks.
Right. Yeah. And location's always key. The closer you can get to bigger bodies of water or where more people's flooding land, the better off you are.
That's what's so good about Southside, in my opinion. They have their holes right here, and then they have these huge natural lakes and little oxbows and stuff like that. And I feel like it's a big bend in the river right there. And everybody you talk to says that big blind they got, it's on the X, and it's been that way since we were kids. And I think what happens in that bend of the river, there's a bunch of big bodies of water, at night and stuff, and ducks go set. And the first thing you get in the morning when they fly over, they're looking at them holes.
That's right.
And that's my my non-duck hunter opinion of it.
Yeah. And there's some places out there that you can't hurt. I mean, it's the lowest part of properties, and Honey Break's got one out in the middle of there. It's the lowest part of that property, and usually that's the best blind every day.
Really?
That's where they've been coming for hundreds of years before anything was ever developed.
Nice. And, it's just imprinted on them.
So it's up and down. I mean, you read a topo map, you can find places and that typically will hold ducks, and I don't know. It's a learning game. I learn every day. If I ever figure it out, then I'll write a book.
So we've got the 100 million. We're in Idaho. We're at the White River. Surprisingly, I thought you'd be around the house, northeast Louisiana. I figured you'd have bought a big farm up there.
Well,
we got 100 million now. So
we may get on the river side.
Oh, okay.
Of thing,
okay. Like Mississippi.
Yeah, Davis Island area.
Okay, yeah,
somewhere in there. That's always.
They kill some deer too.
I mean, I'm a deer hunter now. Killed over 160. So
you kill no big deal. Kill a 160. I'm a deer killer now.
Yeah, big.
You know how long it took me to kill a 160 with my bow? I killed one with my rifle when I was like 15 or 16, but I killed something like 10 150s. I never could break 160 in my bow. Now since then, I've done it several times. I think there's 3 in here. There's 183, 161, 172. But it took me forever. It was like I'd kill 154, 157, which is my dad. I'd never forget. We'd been to Kansas several years. He said, we were on the way out there, you going to shoot the first 150 walks by you? I said, abso-friggin-lutely. And he'd always be real patient and, shoot a 160 and stuff like that. But me, first biggin comes by, I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to be happy.
Yeah. Cole Barthel from Realtree, I always messed with him for the last few years. You going to take me to Oklahoma?
Man, that looks so much fun in that river bottom where they hunt.
He said, I ain't taking you to Oklahoma. You go up there and shoot a 110-inch 8-point. Mm-hmm. I said, no, I ain't gonna do it. Yeah, you will. No, I'm good. So
do they got some ducks on the Cimarron right there?
They do go up there. I don't think it's very consistent, and I may be wrong, but I'm just
right there.
Going off what I see them do. But I do think they go kill some ducks every now and then.
I talked to Kyle. I was talking to him at ATA, and we was talking about that. Just it looks so cool how they hunt on that river and them deer crossing and things like that.
They got a nice place. They kill some big deer up there.
How big that wasn't? He killed 2 years ago. It was 200, wasn't he?
Yeah, maybe 208, somewhere in there.
That's a big one.
It was a big deer.
That was a big one. Well, we're going to jump off of here. Josh, thank you very much. This is all about duck hunting, and, the positive of this episode is there's something to smile about. If we get weather, we get ducks. You can do things to make your duck hunting better. Don't complain about not having the ducks or the animals, because at some point in the season, we'll always get some. Mm-hmm. And if you got the food, you're going to have – it's the same way I treat deer hunting. I tell my clients all the time, say, listen, if you got – 10,000 acre block of woods and you have the big food plots and the good feeders, if you create something that your neighbor doesn't have, you're going to have animals that your neighbor doesn't have. You're going to have all the animals. My proving grounds is right here in front of the house. Every night in those 2 fields is 15, 20 deer. All my bucks I have on camera during the summer, when you can see their horns with thermal, I can see them out in that field. The one Lord killed, seen him out in that field. Me and Caleb were on the way to stand one day, and I did a video of him riding by before daylight. We were going to hunt somewhere else. But so it's the same way with ducks. If you create something, if you got 20,000 acre bottom and you don't have but 3 places to have food, guess what? You're going to have the ducks if you got the food. And so I like the fact that the guys who work hard and put in has still have an opportunity to kill ducks. And I think what Josh said backs that up. So we're going to jump off of here. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'm probably going to get to selling some real estate as soon as I get off of here. Hey, thank you for listening to the Hunting Landman podcast. If you will, take a moment, give us a 5-star written review, guys. This really helps us out. And if you know anybody you think will be interested in this podcast, please share it with them.